Hello everybody, my name is Tanner Kyler, and today I'm in a very special place. I am in a cactus sanctuary in Baja California Sur. I'm south of La Paz, about an hour south of La Paz, and about an hour and a half north of Cabo. So, this is a species of cactus that is very interesting and has a crazy columnar branching structure. And if you'll pan up to the top, you'll notice these spines here that look somewhat like a beard or an old man's hair. They grow only at the top of the cactus. So this is the old man cactus. Now there are multiple species of old man cactus. There is Pachycereus schottii, which there are multiple species like I mentioned, and these guys grow in this large branching structure growing here in Mexico, where it is very dry in the dry forest. So if you pan just around, you'll notice that there are a lot of trees along with cactus. So during certain times of year, they get an abundance of rain, which actually boost it more of a forest than it is a harsh desert. But during the dry season, this area is very barren of leaves and becomes mostly cactus in the trunks of the trees that are dormant during that period. So this old man cactus is probably at least a century old, maybe several. It is very, very large, probably 15, 20 feet wide, and about 20, 30 feet tall. It's hard to tell from the ground here. They are offering awesome habitat for a lot of different pollinators. As I was standing here, I actually noticed a bunch of eggs that were laid all over this from some insect here in the forest. They are not the most abundant species here. There are a lot of different species growing all throughout this forest, but this one I've only seen a couple of, and this is a giant specimen here. If you look in very closely, let's get a little closer here, Charles, you can see it has a woody trunk. And so as it gets older, it loses its green chlorophyll-filled branch because it gets shaded down there, and it replaces it for a thick, waxy cuticle layer that protects it from things abrasing it or cutting it open, and it kind of loses its spines. So it does have very small, about 1 centimeter long spines right here, about a half an inch, less than a half an inch spines all up it. So it does offer some protection, but it's not the spikiest cactus of all time. But if you look up at the top, there is definitely a lot of spines growing up there. So these spines offer it protection from the heat, the intense sun. That's why they're only growing at the top. So the parts that are sticking out in the direct sunlight are going to be the species, the top of the plant that is going to, have to battle with the most amount of exposure to the elements like UV, cold, wind, those kind of things. So it's to help protect the plant and keep it from dying and being damaged way up there in the top of the cactus. Really, I just wanted to highlight how beautiful this massive cactus is here. So these guys being desert specialists and being adapted to these very arid desert climates, they have evolved to bloom nocturnally, being pollinated by bats and moths, occasionally opening up during the day for some pollinators like butterflies and bees, but it is best for them to open up at night so they don't lose as much moisture when it's cooler and the moisture is higher in the air. And so they bloom at night with a mix of red, yellow, and white flowers, depending on the specific cactus. As cactus move around, if they're pollinated by hummingbirds, they're going to get more red. If they're pollinated by bats, moths, it's easier to see white at night, so they're going to go towards a yellow or white color. They do grow all throughout Mexico, up through Baja, through central Mexico, and then up into a small portion of the United States. I'm not sure if they were brought in. I think that they are just now starting to spread a tiny bit up into the southern part of Arizona as the range is expanding with things like climate change. They're also being able to move further north because temperatures on Earth are getting warmer, and those areas that they once were not suited for due to the cold are becoming more suitable for this large species of cactus. So I think that's about it for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please leave a comment down below if you have any questions or concerns about this video, and want to see, make sure you comment anything that you want to see in the future about these cactus or anything that you're interested in. I try to give feedback and comment on every single comment that I get, asking questions. But with that, I think that's about it. So we'll see you next time, and have a great rest of your day.